It's your girl Candy K. Lynn,
And your boy Shout Time Shout.
and it's time to
Pull up.
here on Pull Up the podcast. We talk sports, news, and
Hip hop, the culture. We don't
we
talk
don't
about
talk.
people.
We just talk about the
Mm.
headline.
See, see, like, come on, bro. I say we don't talk about people, and then you say we just come on, bro. Like, it's a
Hey, but
balance, bro.
we still made it work. We still made it work. It's a lot going on as always, but we are back for another episode. I'm sure our fam is like these people just pull up whenever they want to. Listen, and that's we'll pull up the podcast. We come as we please. We're gonna get some order back,
A
but
pull up jumper,
Tuesday, yeah,
pull up jumper don't happen. It's a pull up. It
yeah,
happens. Shit
like
just
so we
happens.
just pull it up on y'all whenever we pull up. But as long as we pulling up weekly, that's all that should matter to y'all.
For
Weekly.
sure.
So we are going to kind of talk out of order. The tournament is started. It's March, baby. It's
Is
March
Dickie V still
Madness.
sick?
Huh?
Dickie V ain't calling no games, huh?
I don't know.
It's gonna be a little different with no Dickie V this year. It's gonna be a
I
little
don't
different.
know. I don't know. I didn't hear that he wasn't calling games. I don't know.
Now, at the beginning of the year, I know Dickie V wasn't calling games. I don't think and again, I've been busy this year, so I haven't watched many games outside of Kentucky. But I don't think I've heard Dickie V this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's something I can look up for you in a minute, but we're gonna start off right. So y'all know that we are Prairie View A&M University proud. You see my Panther behind me. You see my purple and gold
PV,
combo. You know that's
the
how we
name
coming,
don't mess
right?
up.
That's how we coming. So even though we are PV strong, whenever we see HBCUs, we rise strong. Right now,
Sure.
for the first play-in game, Texas Southern University is playing Texas A&M Corpus
They getting
Christi,
in.
which I felt like was a even match. Which, when you face somebody that's even in the tournament, is what we've been talking about for years. Even though you win your conference, you win your tournament, you're still having to play these play-in games due to the strength of schedule. And TSU picks up some bigger big dogs, and they got a big win
I
this
feel
season.
like keep
You feel
going.
like they got
So
a big.
I feel like TSU had strength of schedule unless they played bad in the SEC. I mean, in the SWAC, which I know they different, but they had that the game they said like for mid majors. What's that big game you had? You beat a SEC team. You didn't beat. I think Southern beat Florida, but you beat somebody else in the SEC. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like that's a big win.
and you still have to play a play-in. So right now the score is 69-62 with a minute and 7 seconds left. We will continue to monitor that as we go
Who's
into
up?
this conversation. Texas Southern is up 69-62. This would be big for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. This would be big because it
Because
goes
they
to
can
show
win
that
another game.
we need to play teams like Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, but we can't really put you on our schedule because you don't give us the strength of schedule that we need.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to go get our heads beat in by the Floridas, by the Texas. You know, Texas Southern played Texas last year. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
put the big dogs on your schedule in order to be seeded fairly, right? Because
Yeah, to be
everybody has
seen.
not only to be seen, but you don't have to win the Big 12 to get into the tournament. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
win the SEC to still get into the tournament. You don't have to win the Pac 10. You don't have to win these conferences that are
Big
part of that
Ten.
Power
Only
5.
the mid majors have to win guaranteed to get in. Right. So, and again, I understand exactly where you coming from, and the same sentiment. You got to play the bigger teams because again, strength of schedule is the games you played. If you play those top 25 teams and you lose by less than 5 points, that gives you strength of schedule. They're gonna look at how you played against them. So, all the SWAC has to do is go get them checks. First of all, if you're getting paid, you're getting $1 million to go play them. Go play them. Go get that meal, right? Put two or three big games on your schedule just so you can see where you stand come March. And that's really what the
But
SWAC needs to adapt. I feel like with
but
them
I feel
adding
they
some
are. They
for
are.
sure.
I feel like the
Because
athletic
Jackson State
director,
finna get better.
because they just got Mo Williams that's coming in. They
For
won,
sure.
Jackson State has had a pretty decent season. It's going to be different. Their girls, Jackson State girls, won the SWAC back to back. So there are
Oh,
some things that are changing, right? But what it says is, do teams like A&M, Corpus Christi want to get beat by Texas Southerners of the world? Because what is my incentive to go to A&M, Corpus Christi when I can go to Texas Southern or Prairie View and still have a chance to dance in the tournament?
And that's why they don't even need you. You're not big enough. Go play those bigger teams. Go play Texas A&M. Go get beat up by A&M or have a possibility to win. Because again, once you've won the game, it's like we can set up the SWAC versus SEC every season.
Right? But we should, right? We should be looking at how to make this, especially with Prairie View and Texas A&M, right? We down the street. Why aren't, and yes, we played in football. It was a total blowout, right? But you never get to that level of competition if you're not playing that level of competition. You never change the trajectory of your recruiting process. And with the portal being so wide open right now, nobody wants a Texas Southern to get the play-in win. That's not what you want to see. Because right now, the HBCUs are on the radar, and kids are saying, Shaquille O'Neal, I don't know if he's hurt this season, but he's a part of this Texas Southern school. This squad. It's listed on his profile. He tagged it in his stories. He's at Texas Southern. His sister's at Texas Southern. If I can get to the dance, I can go anywhere I want to go that's going to get me to the dance. And that's the narrative that America, the Power 5 schools, wanted to get away from, that we were able to get away from after the 70s and the 80s. And so now that concept is back, and this is huge for Texas Southern. This is huge for us because,
the transfer portal.
The transfer portal, but you got to face Kansas the next round, right? So, again, it's about the experience. But at any given Sunday, you go in and you play your best ball, you never know what can happen. But it should be an idea shift for these kids to understand that if you want to dance at the highest level, you got to take some of them losses. You got to be a big dog sometimes. Sometimes you got to be a little dog.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is ultimately in March, you want to see if you can dance.
Not for sure.
These are things that stay with you for a lifetime. So right now it's 39 seconds left. The score is 66-73. So Texas Southern is up 73-65. I'm getting my updates on Twitter on my phone, so I don't know how far behind I am, but that's what I have right now where I am live for us. So, Mr. Shaw, we've talked about Texas Southern. We'll give you guys the updated score at the end. Who do you think so far, because you've been watching? Kentucky, I saw, has not had the best season. Not a bad season.
What you talking about? Not the best season. What you talking about?
I mean, they didn't win.
We lost 7 games.
That's what I said. Not a bad season.
We didn't need to. We were gonna be. It came out on Saturday. We beat Tennessee on Saturday. Then we were gonna be in 1 seed. It didn't matter if we won our tournament or not. Because again, the conference tournament don't really matter. It only matters for the teams at the back half. A team like us who was we were number 1. I mean, we were top 5 in points this season. We deal with the same thing everybody did with injuries. We lost Xavier Wheeler for points of time. We lost Tata for points of time, right? And again, we still trying to get everybody to jail. We trying to get Xavier to get the ball to everybody. So I'm with Kentucky. John Calipari said this. We lost by 6 points to Tennessee. We almost came back and won. He said we played horrible. He said if we would have came back and won that game, everybody in the world would say, "Oh, how did they win the game? They were that bad and still won. They can win." He said we're fine. There's nothing to worry about, right? I'm not worried. We went to Kansas and beat Kansas. Our biggest problem all season, if we get to the tournament, there's a game where we can't hit shots. We just couldn't hit shots. I'm like, you just got to live with that. Or the other team is hitting shots. You never know what's going to happen in the tournament. I've watched enough college basketball to know that it might just not be your day. You never know. A player might get hot. So all we got to do is go out, play our game. As long as everybody's healthy, I'm confident. I'm confident that Tata Washington going to take us there and that he gone. I'm confident in that. I'm confident that Oscar Sheway going to get his 10, 11 boards and dominate the paint. I need people like Keon Brooks to do what they do, right? I need Keon Brooks to hit 14, 15 points. I need you to hit them mid-range jumpers. I need that, right? I need that, but I need Xavier to get in the ball. And play great defense, right? Play great defense. If that, Kentucky can be in the Final Four.
You think Kentucky can be in the Final Four? We were listening to a
Hey.
podcast the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest conversations and the biggest story is going to be what Duke does in the tournament.
For sure.
This is Coach K's last dance.
Sure. And
And
they have NBA ready players, but it's Duke. I'm not. They might not get out the first round. It
they've
don't.
had
They don't take.
they took a loss at home on their home court to North Carolina to send Coach K out. ACC play for the last time. He had been and so we're talking March Madness. We're talking Coach K for those of you that don't know. Uh Coach K spent 42 seasons at Duke. He
Fact.
started it in 1980. So the whole dynamics at the university has changed since 1980. The way basketball has evolved, the one and dones, as you say, the NBA level talent, the ability to keep your kids in college 3-4 seasons so they had the opportunity to fully gel so that you could be those national championship teams that he did become. So
Mm-hmm.
it will be interesting to see because I know people would love to see Coach K do it one more time.
I mean, and that's one of the teams. Like Duke definitely could be there. Duke's one of the teams that we played them already. So playing them again would be like we lost to Tennessee, right? Again, lost to Tennessee by 6 points. We beat Tennessee by 15 the first time. Tennessee beat us when they were at home the second time, and then we lost on Saturday. Duke is one of those teams. Like we see him again, I know we'll be ready to play, right? They have NBA level talent. Pablo Brashiro, I think is his name. I don't
Mhm.
quote me on that, right? He a baller. He can do whatever you need him to do, right? At 6'8", can handle the ball, can go to the post. So they have good others. They got good big men, right? And that's why they beat us in the first game of the season in the championships classic was they had more bigs and they were just going downhill. Like we couldn't stop their guard from going downhill. So I
Mhm.
do believe Duke, but then again, Duke it could also lose in the first round. I've seen it. I've seen it both ways from. I've seen them go win the tournament with decent players, and I've seen them have superstars like Jason Tatum and lose in the first round. So we'll just see. You know what I'm saying? We'll just see. Because again, CJ McCollum is famous for beating Duke from playing for Lehigh and beating Duke in the first round. All right, so we'll
Right.
see. But I think Gonzaga gonna be there just out the strength. They got so much talent,
Uh-huh.
and they were there last year. So Gonzaga, Kentucky, Duke. Uh, I say Kansas. Just off the strength, you can't go wrong with Kansas. But again, all that could blow up easily, right? Because again, I don't do brackets. That's a waste of your time. You never go.
I
Nobody
have
get the
won the
perfect pick.
bracket. I have never perfect, but I did win the bracket several years at my former employer, and
Because
they
that
took
5 and 12, that 5 versus 12, 5 versus 12, and 4 versus 13, you can't predict it because those 12s be mid majors who been slept on, but they got players who can play, and you just never know. So I'm one of the you know once I have time next year, I want to be able to because I just want to parlay all day. I just want to parlay. I just want to make money. Parlay, look at women. That's what I want to do all day. Come do
not far.
podcasts, parlay and podcast, parlay and podcast. That's what me and my partners gonna call our podcast, parlay and
Hey, stop
podcast.
telling your business.
Oh, my fault. I should have.
Stop telling your business. But Texas Southern is advancing from what I see. Um, yeah, Texas Southern is advancing, so they were able to go ahead and get a win. They did, and as we stated earlier, they did beat Pick. So Texas Southern started the season at 0-7, and they beat Florida, which turned their season around, and they won the Southwestern Athletic Conference championship last weekend. So shout out to Texas Southern. Way to get the tournament started. Way to get a win. 76-67. Good luck against Kansas. Mr. Shaw, of course, wants to see his Kentucky Wildcats in the finals. You're saying Gonzaga,
Dude,
Duke, and what was your 14?
I said Kansas, but
And Kansas. I've seen Kansas get beaten in the second round. I never will forget Kansas dusted Prairie View back in '98, and I will never like them for that.
oh
When we got
dang,
our
they
opportunity to
they
dance, and
Paul
they got
Pierce.
beat,
I never forget him.
Paul Pierce went to work on us. And I didn't like Paul Pierce until Kevin Garnett joined him as the big three. And from there, they went home. So I'm never rooting for Kansas. Never rooting for Kansas. Right now, as you said, I have no predictions because I don't know who's going to be the final four standing right now. Let me get through this week and then I will have predictions for y'all next week. Okay? So I
You
mentioned
got
my
me in
love,
round 32.
yes. I mentioned my forever love in my heart, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett number was retired in the Raptors there in Boston this past week. We had a chance. We talked about after All-Star weekend. Was the beef still continuing with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Perkins? We don't know about Rajon Rondo because I heard that's where the beef really lied. But Kevin Garnett gave Ray Allen a hug. Ray Allen was there when his jersey went up in the Raptors. So salute to one of the greatest to ever do it at that power forward position. Your guy still ain't caught my guy. It is what it is. So
I got numbers already better than his.
your guy, my guy, is an all-time great.
He is. My guy
He's
had injuries.
yeah, my guy's an all-time great. He did. I saw him though. He had a nice move the other night. Um, it's always good to see sports and be like, oh, I didn't even know that's where you were because I feel like I either have too much
He didn't
going
play
on.
for like 5, 6 teams this season. The
That's what I'm
Bucks,
saying.
the
So I feel
Suns, the
like
Clippers.
I don't know if I have too much going on or I just don't care because I'm like, how did this person get here? Where did they go here? I missed that trade. Wait, brother Curry is no longer in Philly. Wait, Ben Simmons is the net. I feel like we do this show, but it's just so much going on in the world of sports, Mr. Shaw, right now.
Nah, for sure.
So,
Ben Simmons to
so
Philly did. Ben Simmons had to leave Philly, bro. He just, but
well, I knew that he was
listen,
gonna be out at some point in time.
playing for Brooklyn, it's perfect for him though, because shit, KD nor Kyrie want to pass the ball, so he can shoot as much as he wants. I mean, he don't got to worry about shooting. They want to shoot. He can pass as much as he wants. They not
Well,
gonna be mad if he don't take the shot because they
well, you
want to
know
take the
why?
shot.
Why? Because you just said it. You walk right into the next update. Kyrie hit 51. The before we started the show, the trend, the what was trending was Kyrie goes off in first half. Kyrie ends with 51 points.
In the
So
first
as you
half,
said, somebody so no
you can
for
do
the
that when
first,
you don't play every night. You can do that when you only play away games. So I'm not impressed with nothing Kyrie nor KD do. KD a broad,
Kyrie scored
Kyrie a
41
broad.
points, 41 first half points over the Magic. So um I agree.
Listen, I want to
Um
put them in the same box as Kanye West, right? Because my thing with Kyrie and KD, y'all left people so y'all can win it on your own. Y'all can do it on your own, right? So then y'all went and got James Harden. In less than a year, it didn't work. It's y'all, bro. It's y'all. Don't tell me it's James Harden. It's y'all. You couldn't get it with Westbrook. You left. You didn't like how Draymond was talking to you. You left. You didn't like that LeBron was big brother to you. You left. It's you. You didn't like the James. It's you. Now James Harden might be abroad as well, right? Not taking him out, but he didn't went on to another team. But we're gonna see how this works. My thing with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, if y'all don't win, because KD, you left what could have been the greatest dynasty of all time. The Warriors could have won.
broke it up.
Championship after
Broke it up.
championship after championship after championship because you wanted to go be your own man and never gonna win a shit without Steph Curry. Stop, bro. I don't got nothing for you. Don't put him in LeBron category. LeBron won the ring without a top 75 player. Kyrie not a top 75 player. LeBron got a ring with that one. You don't. You bro, again, bro. Steph beat you and then you went last on with him to go win a ring. 2 rings back to back. So yeah. I want to
So
put them in the
so
box.
Steph beat you, right? So you got one
Yeah.
of you got that as one of the greatest backcourts ever. Clay's been hurt the last 2 years. He's come back, going to work, doing what Clay
Yeah.
does, right? Draymond's been hurt, as you said. We were watching that Golden State team going, this could get nasty.
Mm-hmm.
But I say it all the time, and if you go back in the pull-up archives, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are the same people. They're chasing their tail. They're chasing
Mm-hmm.
their tail. And we were going into the GOAT talk conversation because Kevin Durant is in the conversation. He's one of the 75. He's one of the greatest in the 75-year history of the NBA. Okay, we
The
give
score.
him right. We give him credit for that, right? So with Kyrie scoring 53 tonight, Kyrie and Kevin Durant became the first teammates that score 50 plus points in a week, right? But 50 plus points gets us nothing in the playoffs if we can't do that consistently, right? So individual accolades are great. And I feel like at this point in their career, the two of them, that's all they're going to do. There are some things with the two of them where they just can't play with other people.
So what's gonna happen when they don't win? They're gonna break it up. Now take it. They don't have a good coach either. All right. Steve
Well,
Nash
he
is
didn't
not a good
deserve
coach.
that job.
No, not at all.
He didn't
Not at all.
deserve
And
that job.
that's nothing against Steve Nash. That's not me
It's
knocking
just
Steve Nash.
experience,
He just
right?
didn't deserve it.
It's just experience, right? And I speak for me as a coach, right? I coach club. You're not giving me the 16 or the 18U team that we're trying to take to nationals as a rookie coach coming in. Not that I don't have coaching experience, but club is a little bit different from regular school ball. And you want your most veteran coach coaching at the highest level. So Steve Nash needed like Orlando job or somebody, you know, low level. Name a team that I forgot about that's not going into the playoffs to get started. You get that level of talent, that level of ego where there was Katie there, Blake Griffin there, DeAndre Jordan was there, Kyrie was there. That's a lot of egos to manage. And one thing
Fact.
about Phil Jackson that I learned, right, as a coach, you have to study from other coaches. Phil Jackson, you as a coach are managing egos, especially at the professional level. So Steve Nash has to have the ability to coach, manage egos, introduce the calming mechanism to those egos, create a team environment with camaraderie, and talk X's and O's in the front office. It's a lot to balance for someone coming in as a great player with no real experience as a coach.
Facts. He got
And
the job because he was Steve Nash. It was He got the job because that's
and
who Kevin Durant wanted to be the coach.
KD wanted him exactly because
How does that make sense?
Steve Nash had done consulting. I do in Golden State, so he
No, no,
was
no.
familiar with him.
No. That is on the Brooklyn Nets being a trash organization and doing anything at this point, begging for a ring. Because you ain't never been nothing. You was decent at a point where you was the New Jersey Nets. You had Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, and Vince Carter. But since then, think about all the moves they've made since then. They got an old Celtics squad. They traded away all their draft picks for old Celtics players. Didn't work out. We got Joe Johnson. Didn't work out. Chris Humphries didn't work out. This is just them trying something. It's not gonna work out because you're not a good organization. You only win the championship when you have a good organization. You don't win unless you have a good organization. Dynasties, Bulls, Dynasty Warriors, and the Warriors are back to where they need to be. Jordan Poole is coming to his own, right? They got a rookie. I can't say his last name, Kamunga, something like that, right? So it's like the Ward Dynasty. Teams like the Brooklyn ain't nothing but the Trailblazers. They ain't nothing but the Trailblazers. Never gonna be a good organization. Cleveland. Cleveland, you got a ring because you had LeBron. You're not a good. What have you done without LeBron James? Right? So the Brooklyn Nets was fishing and they reeled in Kevin Durant because it's a business opportunity for him. He started a production company in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I ain't mad at you about getting your bread. I ain't mad at you about getting your bread. So, you did what you did. But as far as basketball, Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer ever. He's the greatest scorer to ever pick up a basketball. But as far as hard win, that ain't him. That ain't he gonna score though. He gonna score. He need to be Kevin Durant is a great one, but really got the heart of a number two, if that makes sense. Right?
Right.
Because he can
So
score.
so
But he can't lead you if he ain't got backup. Look at Westbrook. That man finna go to another team. He been to 4 teams in 4 years. Steph will never.
So, and again, it's about discipline. It's about maturity. It's about, like you said, being able to play with other people. All of those things come into play. I love Twitter because Twitter gets absolutely ridiculous Now they're going, is Kyrie going to eclipse Kobe and hit 81 tonight? After his 41 in the first half. We will continue to see what's trending with Kyrie. Boogie, we were talking about DeMarcus Cousins earlier. DeMarcus Cousins is in Denver. He faced up against James Harden. That was their first meetup since James Harden got demanded to be traded out of Houston after he showed up to training camp late and was out of shape. And undoubtedly, Boogie laughed in his face tonight. So again, there are some players that are, I think these guys are prima donnas. And I know that I may get kickback for that, but at some point, you've got to be a little tougher than what they're showing us. You've got to be a little bit more. And I'm a person that's all about mental health. I'm all about protecting your mental health. I'm all about protecting your mental peace. I don't.
Calvin Ridley.
Well, he was protecting his mental peace while he was dropping money on parlay, but that's a whole nother story. I don't. Was he? I don't know. But he said he was having he needed to protect his peace and his mental health at that time. So I just think a lot of these young guys need to do better. So when these conversations are coming up and we're talking about GOATs, we're talking about dedication, we're talking about how hard they work, we're talking about what the NBA used to look like versus what the NBA looks like now. You and I have had these conversations. These young boys cannot be respected because they take nights off. There is a clip with Kobe Bryant who was injured at the time, and he talks about he couldn't sit out because there was no way that they were going to say that he was ducking Vince Carter. So hurt and all, he put on his kicks and he goes to work because he's just like, no one is going to say that Kobe didn't work hard and that I was ducking anybody. These boys
the reason why I say Bean is like, I respect Kobe to a different level. Bean said one night, there's a fan that paid to see me. How am I sit out? This might have been the only chance for them to see me. How am I miss this game, right? So his mindset was, I'm not only playing basketball, I'm also entertaining. And if I can get out there, I'm gonna go. So I'm an Allen Iverson fan. If AI can strap him on, he was strapping it up. So my mentality. Unless you're dead, you're supposed to beat her. I will drag my body to wherever I need to be. I'm supposed to beat her.
During COVID, we're trying to fade. Like during COVID, I'm not telling you boys not take a day off. If you coughing, we want to talk about Jordan flu game. Stay at home, okay? We've seen the entire world shut down. We are in a different era, right? But I believe in rest. I believe in calling in for days off. I do believe in the mentality like Kobe, right? As an athlete of their caliber, if I got to pull up, it ain't on the night I got to see LeBron. I'm probably not going to be sick when LeBron is coming to town. I'm probably not going to be sick when Steph is coming to town. I'm probably not going to be sick when KD is coming to town. Probably not going to be sick when James Harden is coming to town. So you see how we're going down that list that gives you very few off nights.
Mm-hmm.
As you say, you better catch the Trailblazers and the Orlando Magic. And, I'm not sitting down when Luka comes to town. Like there's just certain things that as a competitor, you've got to be willing to compete. And I think they know.
I think players. I respect everything you're saying, but I think it's just certain players that haven't gotten the respect. But like, you gonna sit down with Ja coming time? Because a lot of people might say, "Oh, Ja Morant been Ja was at Murray's."
Ja is young. So if I sat down while Ja was coming, it wouldn't be the Ja. It'd be that Memphis was coming. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, where is Memphis?
Memphis is a good team, but Memphis not Memphis without Ja.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It would be where is Memphis in the rankings? Where are we in the rankings? What is this?
They like two. No, that's Memphis number one. Memphis the best team in the league.
Right. So that says to me, like, okay, this year Memphis is number one. I can't take a break when Memphis comes. And I feel like that's one of the things that I try to teach as a teacher is, right, organizing and planning. Those are things that no one teaches us as a child. I think in the NBA, these athletes that say, like literally, as you say, should I be sitting down when Ja Morant and Memphis is in town and Memphis is one of the best teams in the league right now? Should I be taking a break? Denver, Phoenix is in town. Devin Booker and Chris Paul are coming to town. Should I be taking a break right now? You don't have a lot of break nights in the NBA right now because everybody who's a big dog is a big dog. So you better catch the worst, the last 9, and that's when you better take your rest. But it's also, like I said, it's just a mentality. So when we go into the mentality, that's why we go into this conversation we're having at the end of the show today. GOAT talk. You know, for as much as I cannot stand Tom Brady, I cannot stand him. Tom Brady knows football. He's an old man, right? I called him caveman. He's a caveman. They have old man mindsets. They've been preconditioned to work, not take a whole lot of vacations and work. Tom Brady, I also think is an attention whore. I think he's an attention whore. I think that this week there was just, we talked about, we had a Super Bowl, he retired. We still talked about him during the Super Bowl, even though it was Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow's big moment. He's like, oh no, we're not naming new kings. So he doesn't sit down 6 months. Aaron Rodgers gets paid. Russell Wilson leaves Seattle. He goes to Denver. We're talking about Russell. We've been talking about is Matthew Stafford eventually going to go into does he have Hall of Fame numbers? He a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback. Carson Wentz.
Stop. Come on, bro. Let's not talk about garbage. We're not gonna just talk about garbage on this show.
We're talking about quarterbacks. I think this is the reason why.
You said GOAT talk. Why we saying GOAT talk? We talking about
in the GOAT conversation. That's what I'm getting to. That's why I feel like Tom Brady was like, we're not going to have these conversations, just like we're not going to talk about Carson Wentz when we should be talking about Tom Brady. I feel like that's what Tom Brady was saying at home as these trades were going on. He was like, no, you're not going to talk about, no, I'm the GOAT. No, I feel like every time he was like, no, Aaron Rodgers got paid. I don't even care about the money. Russell Wilson is leaving Seattle. I don't even care about the money. I'm not going to talk about Russell Wilson.
Just want Tom to run it back. Tom just want to run it back. So
Carson Wentz is now all the way. He's back in the NFC. He was in Indianapolis for a season. Now he's the quarterback in the Washington Commanders, another terrible organization. The Steelers now have Mitchell Trubisky. Big Ben has retired, right? Big Ben left, so it's not Ben and I. Me, Ben, and Aaron, we're old. Now we can just talk about old Aaron and old Tom. Teddy Bridgewater is now Dolphins since Russell Wilson is now in Denver. And Tyrod Taylor is now a Giant, which means I just had this argument yesterday about Dak Prescott. I don't care what anybody says, Dak Prescott is still the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Yeah, and nothing changed. Carson is not good.
Dallas still has the opportunity to
it's win. Funny Amari Cooper called him the Black Kirk Cousins. That's funny. I don't care. That's funny.
That's what he called
Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's why he got traded. He said you the Black Kirk Cousins. I think after the playoff game. So that's hilarious to me. That was hilarious. I would have been in the left room. He called you Kirk Cousins. I would have been. Yeah. So Amari, you had to go. You can't call that Kirk Cousins. Everybody know Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So Tom Brady is back, right? Meanwhile, there is only one attention whore greater than Tom Brady, and that's Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, we talk about on this podcast, I can tell you the 3 conversations that I know we've had consistently for the last 4 years. We've never missed. There's not an archive file that you can't find one of these 3 names. What do you think they are, Mr. Shaw?
Kanye West, Dallas Cowboys, LeBron James, Donald Trump.
And Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, Tom.
Okay?
Might just start calling him GOAT Brady.
Donald Trump, we haven't talked about. You just brought up, you just let him sleep. We stopped talking about him after year 1. I can take no more, but we definitely talk about Kanye West, the Dallas Cowboys, and Tom Brady every single season. So Tom Brady is back in Tampa Bay. Does Tampa Bay stand a chance of winning a Super Bowl?
Yes. As long as you got Tom Brady, you guarantee 10 games. You guarantee the second round. You damn near have a guarantee that you can go to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. He's that. Him and LeBron James they mirror each other. Now they don't mirror each other rings. Tom got more, but we talking about being consistent at this level for this long. I'm happy to grew up in the Tom Brady, LeBron James era. I'm happy I was kind of grown when LeBron hit, but you know what I'm saying, because they've been, nothing but GOAT James, GOAT Brady, right? One
Right.
man went to 9 straight championships. LeBron went to 9 straight finals. That never been done before. He went to 9 straight with 2 different teams. 2. Then went to the West, went with a whole nother team. So yeah, Bron is GOAT. Tom is GOAT.
So he's GOAT. Kyrie dropped 60 in total before he was benched for the night. So Tom Brady is the GOAT. Puts Tampa Bay back in the playoff contention. So let's talk about Jerry Jones before we get out of here in the Dallas Cowboys. So Jerry Jones, I am a firm believer. He understands business. This is what people don't understand, and he understands how to give you your money on the front end, restructure your deal to keep you from getting anything on the back end, ask you to take less while he makes more. And I can argue this over and over again because I just said it yesterday, maybe the day before, in a conversation, and he does it again, right? So DeMarcus Lawrence had said, nope, I'm not taking less. You had to restructure Dak Prescott's contract, Zach Martin's contract. Amari Cooper got sent away in the end, as you say, because he said Dak Prescott was the Black Kirk Cousins, allegedly. DeMarcus Lawrence didn't want to restructure. Randy Gregory's contract needed to be restructured as well, right? So restructure means give you your guarantee, reshift some bonuses, some I was about to say playoff games. Pro Bowl incentives, restructure your contracts, take away some incentives, move some money around, pay out on the front end, take off the back end, so we stretch the salary cap. Randy Gregory said, no, thank you. So it doesn't sound like he said, no, thank you. It was the restructure, take less. You give, when these conversations are being had, is the reason why I say that they leak. You didn't put out any negativity about him, which means I'm on the market for availability. Based on what my contract says, if I can go somewhere else and get more money, you're going to value me, and I'm going to get all of my money. I can go somewhere else. And the news is that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are not happy.
It'd be all right. He done made the best decision for him. He got paid. He ain't worried about me in Denver now.
And I'm not playing with Shannon Sharp. And everybody's talking about, and that's the reason why I don't like the idea of Jerry Jones being a savior that I wish young African Americans would think about. The reason why it's very, very important to handle your business as a young man, to stand on your own, to make good decisions, so no one can say the chances that Jerry Jones gave you. You know, Skip Bayless made that statement. I don't owe you anything. This is a business. When the owners do it, it's a business. When the players do it, all the chances and everything that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys has done for them. I hate that philosophy, but I love that Randy Gregory decided I'm gonna get my money. You have nothing to say?
I ain't mad at him. Nah, he got paid. He got paid. He ain't worried about the Cowboys. They be all right. It's part of doing business. It didn't when Randy Gregory signed. They said he didn't. It's part of doing business. You lost him. I seen it happen. They matched the contract, so it is what it is. Jerry be all right. Like you say, they want Jerry not to say he put them on. Go put yourself on. Don't let Jerry hold all the cards.
I don't think it's them saying it. I'm just saying that when you look at it, you make it seem like Jerry Jones is a savior for black men, right? And that's how I feel when you make statements like everything that Jerry did to him, as if he's supposed to have so much loyalty to Jerry Jones. Well, when it gets time to chop, when Amari Cooper's time to go, Amari Cooper did what? He had to go.
No.
Nobody thought about what Amari Cooper had built in Dallas, what Amari Cooper did for the Cowboys. They thought about the fact that we need to get some of this. We need to get your $20 million contract off the books. so that we can pay the other talent that we need in order to make this team competitive. Because in my mind, Jerry Jones is never trying to win the Super Bowl. He doesn't care. He's Jerry Jones. He's already rich. And anytime there's a Cowboy game, people are filling up Cowboy Stadium. He never has an attendance issue. So that's my thoughts on that. Mr. Shaw, do you have anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing else to say to him.
I mean, you look so bored. Like, we're not entertaining you.
Nah, never that.
Okay. Well, y'all, it's your girl, Candy K. Lynn.
And your boy, Shawton Shaw.
You're listening to Pull Up the Podcast. Until next week.
We out.